How's my precious souls? If only you can see yourself through my eyes, you would understand how much belonged to you that's just waiting for you. And my aim in this life is to erase where you have been marked by giving you an insight that I'm pretty sure you're not aware of. Because if you were, your reaction to someone, to what they said or what they did, thank you for liking the live, it would not shake you. You would not be muddled about who you are, about your goodness, about the truth of the matter. You would not be put under some kind of hypnosis as to the reason there was a reaction from you to begin with. And what that really means is you standing up and not letting dumb shit happen anymore. You nicely saying, well, no, this won't work anymore, or I'm not going to go forward with this, or I can't be with you anymore, or I see what you're trying to do, or you're doing that same song and dance routine. I used to be with someone a long time ago, and I used to, because as a Heyoka empath, you need to understand, as much as when I was a teen, I didn't really welcome the ability to see through everybody's shit. I didn't welcome the ability to see what someone really meant when they talked casually, because I was reading their energy, not their words. I didn't know I was a Heyoka at that point. I just said, they're so fake. Why are they saying this when this is really what they want? And they think they're trying to corner me. It's like, have you ever been to, I don't go to bars often because I don't drink and the smell of the alcohol makes me nauseous. But when you go in there and they have this, it's not a ping pong table, but it's one of those, what do you call those? Where you put a quarter in or a dollar and you pull out that thing and then it ricochets. That's how I saw the pattern of their thoughts. I saw the root and how it had to go to here to then collect with their experience and then add this to make me think it's really that in order to get this result. And it would happen in a second. And I was thinking today, since we're talking about people who are trying to bully you and things like that, I was thinking today, I really wasn't visible, except that one summer when I got in shape and I wore really tight pants, day one of school. All the guys turned to me and I was floored by all that attention. It actually scared me. But I kind of liked to blend in with the woodwork at that point. I still do, actually, unless I'm serving you and I'm making it my aim to reach you. I'll be right in your face, like a spotlight. And so during those times, I remember I was rather invisible and no friends, but I always had someone who wanted to pick on me. And as horrific as it sounds, don't get me wrong, I wasn't a perfect teen. You know, I had fights with my sister, with all the things that are going on at home. And, you know, it was a really bad overspill of watching the mother and the father in a very learned behavior. It was not right to do that. And I swear it's been plaguing me for centuries. And I still mention it to that person, because I am in. And you know what? When I talk to other clients that I have as a Heyoka empath, by the way, I let me announce this in case I forget, because it's huge. I usually charge $205 an hour, but in lieu of the release of the e-bundle book series called The Sacred and Feral as Fuck, comprised of 3 books, and I'll get to their titles in a minute, we're going to be releasing that. Originally $149 is now $77, but in lieu of that and the classes that we are arranging, I thought it'd be really sweet to extend myself for $44 US for 20 minutes for you to get a feel of what a Heyoka empath, a psychic Heyoka empath is. And believe me, even my mother wanted me to go to Vegas, although I went there with the boss in LA, which got me a green card because he won a lot of money, but I don't like doing that. And my mother wanted me to play lottery all the time. I'm not a crystal ball. I had girls asking me when they would get married. I don't speculate. I'm a very, very grounded realist in a very high-ranked spiritual realm. So I won't give you woo-woo foo-foo stuff. I will give you insight from your past lives if you ask. And the reason why that's important, it's not about, oh, I don't want to know that I killed somebody, Nicole, and feel like crap. No, it's nothing like that. It's very exhilarating, actually. It's about learning where you were overdeveloped and underdeveloped, because where you were overdeveloped, you will suffer for here. And where you underdeveloped, you will suffer for here. Let me give you a little example. One of my clients, they called her ACOCD and all that kind of stuff. They said, oh, Nicole, you know, I've always had to have everything exact. And I get very nervous if it's, you know, if the frame is off and the pepper isn't next to the salt, all those kind of things. I'm like, that's not the root of it. It's got to tie into your past life. So when she came and saw me, and I usually will sit for a while and get all these notes on you. They'll be written in code and in fast hand. So I don't send them to my clients because you can't read them anyway. And you know what? You don't need to memorize what I say. You need to hear it once so it clicks and switches off that which is navigating you through the planet in the wrong way. And it has access to do that because it made sure you were born into a family that had to stimulate the energy opposing you. So if you're a woman, you will be stimulated to be in your masculine energy, not having the safety. And you'll do everything possible to make sure your life's a fucking living hell. And if you're a man, and then certain other things, you'll be dominated by your feminine energy and your masculine energy, your logic, your confidence in yourself, your control in your emotions. That'll be MIA forever. And you will end up attracting women who want to, you know what? What's really interesting, I get a lot of readers flashing on my page. And I'm very blessed. A ton of them want to send me gifts and read me. They feel something special. So they want to read from me at no cost. And I have to turn them all down. because I know from a long time ago, I was told I'm not permitted to have anyone go in and influence me because I'm really set on a certain concrete path. And believe me, because I had a gift to go to this astrologer, top psyche, whatever, from one of my clients in LA, Beverly Hills. And I sat in front of her and she told me right away the 4 questions I had on my mind. And I'm like, oh, cool, she's got a real gift. And then all of a sudden in my mind, I saw this like white box. And as soon as I saw it, she said to me, they're showing me a block. I'm like, is it white? They're like, yes, there's a white block in front of you. I'm not allowed to enter. And I'm like, fucking cool. I didn't know I'd be so fucking protected. But all I'm saying is that it was amazing. So I honored that. But what I wanted to say is the stuff that's in your past life that's ruling you now can only rule you when you're not in present energy, meaning fully of the energy of your body sex now. You might be a woman, but you're operating out of a male energy. That means you're connected to a past life where you were one. You feel me? It's so fascinating, actually. So here's what happened with the client. So she had all these, what the doctors and shrinks and specialists said it was a certain condition, right? And with all these letters, you know. And when they don't know what the fuck to call something, they go ADHD, LMP, OCD, yeah, that's what they do. That's what I've noticed. So what I found out about her is that, and I've never seen a person drained of so much heaviness. Just like if someone, I don't know how to explain it to you. It was like she had a rock inside of her face and frozen like from Medusa, and she melted and it turned to salt. Because as soon as I mentioned to her, you had many lives where you were a top-rated surgeon for royalty. So think Cleopatra days, think not just royalty here, where if you fucked up 1 centimeter, you and your family would be beheaded. And as soon as I said that, she went, she says, that's how I feel. I said, yes, you have a sense of urgency because in having that kind of a profession and knowing you get so, your nervous system is regulated towards peak perfection and it becomes so tuned and attuned to any slight variation in the wind, someone farting, someone burping, you're scanning everybody's mood at the same time. Everything has to be exact. That's why change gives her almost a heart attack. So what ended up happening, and she didn't have this in just one session. We talked about it in one session, but then I had to work with her because in 3-4 sessions, she was able to role play with me. And if anybody is going through a hard time and they want to role play with me, it's almost filled up and sold out, the role playing. But DM me and I'll see if I can fit you in on my day off. Because if you're dealing with someone that's really like a lawyer prosecuting you, I'm not going to say the N-word narc because I don't believe in all those empowering those sinister people that all they really are is a cry for love, but they learn to get love in a malicious way because they didn't have access to the light. That's all that is. So if someone's persecuting you and really good with manipulation because they read a lot of books like that, and you're not in your divine mind, divine feminine energy, or divine masculine energy, they will sway you. If you're in your dominant masculine energy, you live in the mind. You don't live in the energy of your body, receiving what they're emitting and able to read the energy, not their words, in Braille. Though I will be teaching that in my classes or come for a one-on-one. So you're too busy thinking on what this means and that mean and putting energy into them that your receptor, receiving mode, it's not on. It's like a walkie-talkie. When you talk on a walkie-talkie, you can't hear, you can't receive the other person. It's exactly the same. So what I do is a lot of fun for me. And it's funny because my mother said to me when I was 8, because I was always a probing type, she said, if you become a psychologist, you will be the best in the world. I'm like, Mom, I don't want people's problems. Oh my God, I don't want people. And I believe those people are very disturbed from personal experience of a client that I know. But I believe, my mom said the same thing. She said, they're the most, how did she put it? In need of help. And I couldn't see it at that point why, but I realized, you see, you become really good at what you need to be. Now, let me rephrase that a couple ways. What did Marilyn Monroe need in her soul? Because she was passed from family to family. She needed to belong, but most at the root, she needed to be loved by all men, women, squirrels, trees, rocks. Everything had to love her. And she became that. I needed to see the truth of the root of things to navigate the corridors of my interesting colored life. People who are sexually abused or lured into cult-like things where they need a savior because of their experiences, they've been split, their psyche. They will only look for control. They won't look for truth because their truth has been stripped from them. So they'll polish up on behaviors and how people look and their languages, and they'll study them. And if you are not 1,000% authentic in your core, so you're transparent, you won't be able to see through them because you're hiding parts from yourself. You can't see, but they do. And so you cannot do something to yourself and keep that away from another, nor can you do something to another, joy or cruelty, and keep that away from yourself. That's the beauty of the law of cause and effect. And I really want to emphasize that for those who have been treated unfairly. I had a client the other day, and she's like, I need you to teach me how to kill his soul. I know you can do this, Nicole. And I was like, oh my God, this is going to take months. But anyway, she says, I need him to feel immense pain. And she was so far off that I couldn't even begin to respond. And I couldn't, and to say someone like that, or any of you who've really been unfairly treated. And what's really been unfair is that you've been unfair to yourself. So therefore you couldn't bounce off this because they mirrored to you how you are with yourself. And so you didn't have yourself as an attachment to have it bounce off and not touch you. not interfere with your wiring. So you can't say to someone like that, oh, but just be happy and be successful. That's his biggest payment. You go, fuck off. That's not what I want. You don't say something like that to someone who's in such wretched pain because they don't feel power. And that's so sad. They're so removed from their power. And I'm going to tell you why. And my God, I wish, and this will happen soon, a humongous platform where I can talk to millions all at once. Because those of you that are here right now are going to get something that I know is going to click something out of place that's been holding oldness in place. And I always say to myself, okay, I'm only going to spend an hour. It ends up being 4 hours. Okay, so hold on. And you know what? And because I'm working so diligently on this book, and for those that want to be, and again, for those that want the pre-orders of the book, please DM me. We're not like having that pre-order for a long time. And I'll send you a link. And with the pre-orders of the book, oh, hold on, I'll tell you the titles. You know what I'm going to start to do? I think tomorrow I'm going to show the cover page, the book covers. And then I think I'm going to start reading excerpts out of the book. And I think I'm just going to just maybe put the camera right on the page or the table of contents. I'm going to start showing in parts of the book, okay? I just know TikTok really likes information in a different way, but I'll just do it so you get an idea, because the energy of the book alone is going to reach you before the words do. The book is not set for you to read in your mind and gather information. It's an activation. It's not information. It's a transformation. Not all content is alive. That's why you hear it and it does nothing for you. It's not charged. But from what I'm told when I talk with you, and I've got people on the other side of Africa, New Zealand, the North Pole, fucking listening to my voice and falling asleep at 3, 4 in the morning because that's their time when I go live. It's so priceless to me to have that value. Thank you. Thank you for showing me who I am. Thank you. So it's my job to also show you who you are. Because although I can't see my outside, because I see inside, you can see my outside of who I am, but I can see your inside of what you can't see. So the book is called The Sacred and Feral as Fuck Trilogy, comprised of 3 books. The first book is called Chaos Meet Wisdom, the Cosmic Roast. Karma called. That's why that happened. That's designed to break you in and rattle you to the core. It's like a spiritual slap in the face just to, oh, I was asleep. Fuck, this makes so much sense. Book 2, From Chasing to Chosen. Savage status. Feminine energy is not about being like a waffle. It's not about just being tasty and yummy and smells good with some pink syrup. It's not about being a daisy. You have no idea. And again, this is making me very emotional. because there's a lot to teach you, a lot. There is a false narrative scripted of a high-valued woman / feminine energy. And that's why it doesn't sit right with a lot of you. Because it's like, okay, I have to kind of like sit on my hands and wait for him to do everything. And that's not it. That's not it. So in this book, I align you with what is it. And what is it is the flame and the light inside of you that for a lot of you has almost been snuffed. And I could mangle, spiritually speaking, the souls that devastated you. I don't take that well when it happens to people I know. I don't take that well at all. You want to tackle me? Go ahead. It's a whole other ball game. But when it happens to my little fireflies, to my little light beings who are just still in a caterpillar phase, and half of them get paralyzed or squished or frozen or stiff, and then they drop off the tree of life. That annoys me. The third book is called Fuck the Fade, No More Delulu, Just Dominion. And so all three books we're putting together for 77. You will get with that a 10-minute clarity call with me and a secret chapter. And you will also be part of our exclusive group, which my groups come to me to receive insight from me as a Heyoka empath. Because the insights that I get are not on Google search. They're not YouTube search. And plus they'll have access to email me directly and talk about their dilemma. So each day, once or twice a day, I'll be giving all these insights, wisdom drops, femme stuff, relationship stuff, beauty stuff, vitamin stuff, exercise stuff, all kinds of cool things. And there's going to be high screening with this. Not everybody can just be part of this. So this comes with the pre-order only. Otherwise, it's $33 monthly. And you will see within time, as this book gets around the world, why you feel so open inside and can breathe better once you've read a few pages. Because the so-called healing that needs to be done with you is only one simple thing. An extraction of pain stuck there like glue out of you. That's all that has to happen. And you either come one-on-one with me in a very detailed fashion, and we can have fun with that, because then we will work on everyone else in your family. Not your family, but your responses to them, because chances are they are keeping you sick, for sure. And a lot of you, I have great pride, you have let go of a lot of people. And a lot of you have let go of a lot of people, are in this kind of like desert, like what's going on? When will I have people? And I would explain and make this transformation really enjoyable for you. Because when you have clarity is light. Light is sun. Sun is joy. And fear can't live where there is sun. There's too much warmth. So it would melt fear. That's why beauty crushes fear. It doesn't matter what your situation, what you're upset about, what he did, what she did, what work did, whatever. If you get on a plane and you're flying and you're seeing the clouds and you're flying over, say, Aruba or a Caribbean, you're seeing all those palm trees in the ocean, the people on the beaches. Tell me you feel fear at this moment. I don't think so. Just like when you see a hot guy, a real man, doesn't matter. There's no more fear. And we know how guys are with hot women. I mean, they rely on them for like oxygen. So, and if you feel like asking me any questions at all, please write them down and I will get them. I do not miss questions, but somehow sometimes it shows up out of order. So if you see a person's question before you and then I don't answer yours, it just means it's out of order. That's all. If there's a question that's not part of this group's frequency, I will permanently block your ass. So I wouldn't test me if I were you. It's funny how even your haters want to watch you after. And I had this one person that went as a fictitious, and I could still feel it was them. So, okay, a little drink before I continue. There is a book that I already do have out, all about masculine and feminine energies. It is the bomb of a book. It's an extensive book. This is not an ebook. This is a book, 500 pages. It took me 15 years to write it, 12 years to be exact, and 3 years to edit. It's deep and it's hilarious, and it acts as your own private oracle, and it does not miss. And it's funny because I had a podcast person ask me to be on his show. And he said, I bought your book, The Wisdom of the Penis. And I said, oh, wow, did you do the oracle? He goes, okay, I'll try it right now. And then he shows me the page he goes to, that he opened it to, because you're supposed to take it on your chest and ask, what am I in the dark about? What is it I need to see right now I can't see? And you're supposed to open it and start reading from your left thumb for about a minute, 30 seconds, and you're going to see something. It's going to scream at you, and it's going to illuminate something, and you're going to be in awe. You're going to be in this state of relief and most likely tears of joy. That's what clarity does. But this guy, because older people are not like Gen Z and adult people, they're kind of more like, he said, he opened up to a page that said something, and he says, yeah, I remember thinking this at some point in my life. I'm like, you haven't read anything. You haven't read anything. He already wanted to dismiss it. So it was really, really interesting. But if you follow through, you'll be very, very surprised. I've had many people send me, they've sent me videos of them doing the Oracle open business and being shocked, dropping the book. It's hilarious. Now, getting back to that which you came here to listen to. When you have a reaction, and you're dealing with someone who crossed a barrier and disrespected you, when people do that, they know it's going to piss you off if you find out. They know that. So most likely they won't tell you, but you find out. Now, and this is really deep, so if you need me to repeat it, let me know. Once you find out, you have a royal reaction. And what they do at that point is start a wildfire over there at another place in order to divert your attention and especially their attention, so they do not need to address, acknowledge, and accept this ucky part of themselves. So that wildfire that they started way over there is about something you did in fucking centuries ago to them. Or all of a sudden a complaint comes out that they've never complained before. All of a sudden something about you that they never mentioned before is a big deal. That's how they'll do it. Now, here's a couple critical parts. Please share this. Why would someone who admires you so much, praises you so much, loves you so much, you've done so much for them, do something that despicable, so low frequency? I'll tell you why. And I write about things like this in the book. Most of it, if not all of it, is very funny. It's intensely funny. And it outlines all the relationship dynamics and dating dynamics that's going on today, how to spot them. And it's just right in your face. I call you out on everything. You're not going to be able to read all these 3 books. You could get them one book at a time as well. That's 33 each. But you're not going to be able to read even one and then go and be in the same way. It's not going to happen, not the way they're written. So in this book, I talk about this very thing near the introduction. Bear with me. I'm going to jump a bridge. We'll get back to why would this person, knowing that this would freak you out, why would they do it? Why would they do it? Why would they do it? Let me tell you why they would do it. Next paragraph. I'm going to join the 2 in a minute. Let's look at, and for those who are part of my squad, you may have seen the email I started to talk about. The vid that I started to talk about this with. Let's look at the word, the last judgment. Everybody sees that as meaning the time when, and again, I'm not Christian. I was born in Israel. I have a very one-on-one with God as being part of what I am and who I am. So the last judgment from my research with Jesus is, or whoever you want to call, Yeshua, God, whatever. And even in the Jewish religion, they say Elohim. They come back, and it is when they judge you on everything. That alone, and this is huge, please share this. That is alone, the word judgment is based on the handed down, twisted, perverted, distorted version of the Bible that states Adam and Eve's first error, talking to a reptile, as a sin. Their first mistake, error, nothing unintentional to hurt anybody, as a judgment. Now, with that passed on and passed on and passed on, the seed of guilt is planted. And it's not just planted. First of all, what is the seed of guilt? What is guilt? Guilt is definitely man-made, but the most important thing you need to understand is that guilt seeks punishment in every arena of your existence. So when we come down and we are fed of the descendants of sin, not error, but criminal, sent out, abandoned for this sin. What happens is that these people who adopt this, and it's in their cells and mind and their heart, their psyche, is that they are in a stuck energy waiting for condemnation, waiting to be condemned. When someone's in an energy waiting to be condemned, judged, they are going to be pulled to do something that evokes blame because it's already set up that way within them. They're like, they do, if, what's the saying? They're damned if they do, damned if they don't. When you have an energy of guilt in you, you are expecting the worst. And it's like a child that's told he's rotten or he's a monster. He has to prove to you what a monster can do because you fueled him. You fueled him with that energy. So that momentum is going to grow in him of being a monster. He doesn't want to prove that he's not because there's so much momentum there. So not only do these people who fear judgment appear to be presented and groomed very well and act in this perfect way, and that's why you go to church, you act perfect, and then you scream on the highway when someone's too slow. Where is that God business then? Where did it go? Oh, it was just in the building? I don't think so. Because God, anything, is seeing life and people and things they do through God's eyes. It doesn't mean they don't hurt you, but that doesn't destroy you because nothing has been taken from you. Your truth can withstand any error in perception or things said about you. It is only the error that is vulnerable, not the truth, because that doesn't move. So what ends up happening is these people who associate judgment for mistake or error don't have a back door in to come and be better. That's why a lot of people who do harm to you have to cut you off, because to see you would remind them of their stained soul. Because it was a sin, it was never an error. So nothing is an error to them. Where it's just a building tool and it's just sowing the seeds of your connection, sifting through the seeds that are bitter and that are not fully grounded or not fully whole or have worms in it. But these type of people have a fear of being left behind. These type of people have to conceal their shit because they cannot be transparent, because any error in their foundation or in their ways, and you'll see they will also, they don't have a sense of boundaries of, and I don't usually use labels, but let me just say it in this way. They don't have a sense of ethics on what is good to do and not to do. What they are masterful in is how to maneuver the situation and explain themselves out of something. And that can be a toxic ghetto guy or a lawyer person. It doesn't matter. They will know how to run the same circles. And again, I could say gaslight, but you wouldn't know what I'm really talking about. So that's why I'm reaching for words so that you can really grip what I'm saying. These people, okay, it's a little tricky, so just stay with me. I'm just looking here to get the writing on the wall, the way I receive it. When a person is ingrained with the understanding that an error is a sin passed on from the Bible rhetoric, and that with that sin, error, they get cast out, they could never tell you the truth. They'll have to lie and cover. That's one. The second thing is that the sin, which God, Adam and Eve cast out of the Garden of Eden, is separation from God. That means separation from value. That means they are never enough or valued enough or important enough. So they must ridicule someone who is different in race, status, opinion, style, in order, and this is really important, because they don't have that complete sense of love, because inside they're split. Because a person who has a complete sense of love can forgive, because that's Empress energy. She can forgive because it hasn't really done anything to her. But a person who is cut off from parts of themselves that they feel is shameful or ugly or yucky, they have to project that hate off them onto you. So swerve the whole scenario onto you and or someone who is different. In other words, you will have an argument about something they did or something you found out. They'll throw a wildfire over there at what you did 14 years ago that has nothing to do with this. Or a grievance they've never brought up, but they're bringing up now to offset the direction of where this is going, where your focus is on what they did, which makes them have to look at who they really are. So they're going to throw a wildfire over there, so we both look over there at your shit, which has nothing to do with this shit at all, and is being used to camouflage the real situation. And because they are not in a complete sense of love, and you would overlook this thing if they just come clean. If you just know that it's not going to happen again, if they really understood, not said sorry, that means fuck all, but they understood, they grasped inside how off this was, how not right it was. But they're separated from value, separated from the sense of God accepting and loving them, that they don't have a sense of morale and a sense of value. And therefore, the parts of themselves that they don't like, that they hate, it's an opportunity to project that hatred onto you. And that's all it is. I hope I made that clear. It's I can write a lot clearer than I talk, only because I don't know where all of you are in terms of my channel. For those that have been following me for a while, they would get this. But for those that are new today, that it's multi-layered. I'm not a how are you, how is shmoo girl. I see and I say. I see and I say. So when you have understood that what has been done is not right, and they make your opposition the whole fight, and they cannot take responsibility or even accountability or recognize, it's completely omitted what they did, that's a very deranged person. They are not, they are so not okay with themselves. They are, I cannot take in what I've just done. And they may say, oh, I'm sorry, and this and that. And things, and you may be okay, but then your reaction causes you to cut them off of something, to ask for something back. And that reaction is outrageous to them. And they'll be like a bullhorn in a china shop. And then the real rage of who they really are. And you could say, okay, they envy you, they want to be like you, and all that other kind of stuff that's going around right now. But really what it is that it's a running away of the self, because they're so disgusted with who they are inside. And it's not them anymore. They've been infiltrated. They've been, what's the word? Compromised. And it's heartbreaking, actually, that it destroys so many lives when you have been sexually touched, because and let me preface to say this, it doesn't happen to everybody, because you either climb out of the gutter or you stay there. But those that want to take, they want to take things from people. They want to take. They don't really want to give of themselves. They pretend to be nice and give to get, which fools a lot of people. So the nice words they say, you may think about and go, oh, that was sweet. But if you really check with from your neck down, you'll see nothing moved, which means those words were from the mind, designed to get you to feel a certain way, think a certain way. But you see, words from the heart touch the heart. They do not miss. But words from the mind don't affect. Just like when you watch a movie, how many movies have you watched where someone's crying, but you feel nothing? It's a great actor, he's crying. How come you're not crying? Then you see other actors which maybe have one tear and you bawl. Here's the difference. Your body can feel experience. When someone is not really moved, you will not be moved. It doesn't matter if they're an actress, or it doesn't matter if they're sensitive being. If it's not coming from the heart and they're not moved, you won't be moved at their tears. I remember I had a guy in my drama class, and we were to rehearse in my place. And the guy was very into brown-nosing the teacher, okay? he wanted to be a movie star and all this. I just wanted to get my credit, get my thing, get going with everything. And something happened because he came over. I'm ready with the book. All of a sudden, I'm sitting on the chair sofa, and instead of him sitting on the other chair, he goes down on his knees. And I'm like, and he starts attempting to choke on his words. I say attempting because I saw it. He was trying to let me know he had feelings for me and that he's really secretly in love with me, but it happened so authentically in what would appear to be an organic way. And I'm looking at it going like this, right? Like I can't believe what's going on. But from here down, I felt nothing. And it was so good that I said, oh, wow. But here down, nothing. So after he finished sniffling and crying and you know, I made him something, you know, quick to eat. We ate a little bit. We didn't get around to studying anything. So I said, okay, for sure, we're not going to put our hand up tomorrow. We'll let other people go, right? He puts his hand up. The first person to put his hand up. And I look at him and he like looks through me. And I sit there and he's saying the line and I'm just like this. And the teacher's like, Nicole, I can't even tell you what I went through at that moment. It was not life-threatening, but it was just a moment, you know. And that's when I knew he wanted to fuck with me to look better because the teacher had said to him that there is a handful of only a handful of talented people in the world. He said maybe like 5% who have their souls on their fingertips that can put themselves in a role and be that role, feel everything for real, and that I was one of them. I didn't know at the time I was a Heyoka empath, and that's why. And so he wanted to downgrade me a bit. Yep, so that's what I'm saying. So let me answer some questions, okay? Hold on. If there's any questions, let me just answer. Okay. Thank you, Sanik, for copying. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Hi, Cindy. Suzanne, hello. Maudrey, Alexander, hi. Capri, eyes wide shut. I love that. That's beautiful. Goddess, welcome. Grace, Juliana, hi. Justin, hi. Catherine, hello. Court, hi, sweetheart. The Rowells, hi, Dawn. ABC, Erica, hello, love. Just, hi. Anna, Alan, hi. Gordon, hey, Dezia, it's a beautiful name. Nazina, it's a beautiful name also. Kez, hi. Energy, hello. Debbie, Marlene, hi. Dancing Dreams, oh, you speak of my heart. Yeah. So Kwan, DM. Brianna, hello, sweetheart. Oh, I do want to ask also, the people who originally wanted early access to the classes, I sent a bunch of invites. Please check your spam folders because those are the ones who, and I have them on my list, who gave me their emails and put themselves on a waiting list for classes early. They get an extra chapter. So let me know if you received it. Hi, Carrie. Nicole. Simone. I like how you spell your name. Laura, hi. Any minute now, TikTok's going to have a little quiz for me to make sure I'm real. Hi, Carrie. Okay. Let me, Laura Jane, hi. Tanya, hi. Maurice, hello. I welcome questions from guys and girls. Jason, you're definitely a great salesman, I'll tell you right now. You could convince anybody of anything. Some people's energies really come across very strong to me. Sheelanth, you're such a sweetness. Annalise, what a joy you are. Caroline, hi. Okay, all right. So, no questions? Cool. Then I will let you go until I see you next time. And I'm going to aim that to be either Thursday night or Friday night. Bye for now. Thank you for being here.